Taking inspiration from Destination Oregon, I thought, why not do a Destination Little Did I Know geology style? Over the next 3 weeks, you're coming with me on a road trip through time itself. 3 stops, 3 big stories written in stone.
So here we go. Time to pack up the cameras, load up the SUV, and chase down a few geological secrets hiding in plain sight in Central Oregon.
This week's destination, the mysterious Dry River Canyon, tucked out in Oregon's rugged Badlands.
And while it's me in the driver's seat, riding shotgun metaphorically is my buddy Hal. He's a geologist at Central Oregon Community College. He's going to be our guide.
Well, the name actually gives us a good clue there. Dry River Canyon. So indeed it's a canyon, nice sinuous hole in the ground linking the Milliken Valley with the Oregon Badlands. And as pretty much anyone would know from walking through it, there's a lot of rounded river rocks, hence the Dry River.
Now, they found evidence of a big flood that came through here back in the 1940s, so mystery solved, right? I mean, case closed.
So you'd think that's the end of the story, except when you go back in time, as geologists love to do, it gets way more interesting.
Oh, okay. I'm listening.
So we're going to go back to the Pleistocene, otherwise known as the Ice Ages. And during the last Ice Age, we're talking 15, 20,000 years ago, the Milliken Valley could just as well have been called Milliken Lake.
Back in the Ice Age, this wasn't a parched desert like we see today. Milliken Valley was a mainly frozen world where liquid water lingered longer because the cold kept everything from drying up. What we now call a valley was likely a sprawling ancient lake.
So you had a big lake in the Milliken Valley, and what we think happened, based on all these water scouring marks higher up in the canyon, as well as enormous rounded boulders that just seemed too big for a normal flood, we think that that massive lake catastrophically emptied out and ripped through the canyon, doing just unreal damage.
So I asked Hal, as a fellow science geek, what should I be looking for with my science geeky eyes?
But once you're hiking up, look for rounded rocks. So round rocks tell you that they've been tumbled by water. Small round rocks are tumbled by normal rivers. Round rocks the size of a car are not tumbled by normal rivers. They're tumbled by these epic floods. Look at the walls of the canyon and see, do they look like they've been smoothed over? It's rough, jagged lava. It shouldn't look smooth. And if it's looking really smooth, that's possibly evidence of a big flood. The other possibility, which is also probably part of it, you've got a lot of sand nearby in the Milliken Valley, and when that wind gets whipping, you can sandblast rough rock and turn it into smooth rock.
You may recall on a previous Little Did I Know, we learned about the Great Lake Missoula floods that ripped across the Northwest at the end of the last Ice Age, one of the most colossal floods our planet has ever seen.
And just like that event, the Dry River Canyon was probably not caused by a single catastrophic event, but a whole series of them.
There's healthy geologic debate about how many of those there were. And it's really hard because each one erases a lot of the evidence of the last one. So maybe this just happened once, maybe it happened many times. I don't think we have enough evidence to say one way or the other.
However many there were, the result is the same. A timeless reminder of how Earth reshapes itself every time the climate swings from one extreme to the next.
I think it's an interesting example of normal geologic climate change. 20,000 years ago, we had these huge lakes throughout southern Oregon and all the way into our little corner of Oregon. And then over time, the climate got warmer, those lakes evaporated, and now we have a dry river canyon, which I think that name right there tells you a lot.
And the deeper we dig into Central Oregon's landscape, the more we realize it's less a static desert and more a storybook written in layers of ash, lava, and lost lakes.
What's been really fun in geology in the last century is the more we look, the more we find stories of these catastrophic floods that tended to happen at the end of the last Ice Age, when there was a lot of water on the landscape and things were just right to unleash enormous floods. So that's what we think was the real cause of the Dry River Canyon. Certainly since then, maybe every 100 years, we've gotten normal floods that have also been part of it.
Now next week we're going to trade in the Dry River Canyon for something a little bit more explosive. Literally, we're going to be heading to hole in the ground. Not a hole in the ground, the hole in the ground.
For Central Oregon Daily News, I'm Scott Elmas.